Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Ramzan and let's talk about the November wrap up, the books that I have read in November. And this is going to be a short video. I'm just going to enlist the books that I have covered, about 10 to 12 books, and that's my average. I read about 5 to 10 books per month, some audiobooks, some I read. And after this, let's talk about the next video will be the TBR, the books that I'm going to read in December. So let's just dive into it. Before I move on, I would like to request you to subscribe to my channel, like the video, and let me know if there are any suggestions for the improvement of the channel. I am new to the YouTube and I'm trying to learn and improve. So let's just dive into it. So first book that I read in November was I Travel by Night by Robert McCammon. I also put a review for this book. It was recommended and reviewed by Brian Lee Durfee. I will give the link to his review in the description as well. And this book is about a detective vampire, you can say half vampire, who goes on a sort of an adventure, a case that is given to him by a certain someone, and he has to retrieve something for that person. And he is also hunted by a dark society of vampires and creatures of darkness that wants him either on their side or they want him dead. So it's a great book, short story, sort of a novella, and you can easily get into it. The second book that I read was a non-fiction, sort of a historical account of the life of Aurangzeb, the Mughal emperor, and the title was Aurangzeb, the Man and the Myth by Audrey Trushke. It was also a short book, and the book was about what kind of a personality did Aurangzeb had, and what are the myths around his personality, and the kind of misconceptions that are spread for political gains and political advantages in the modern day, and the kind of the case she tried to build was that he was not as cruel as everyone portrayed him. He was just another emperor, and he also he was a product of his time. So that's that. You can also check out my review for Aurangzeb, the Man and the Myth by Audrey Trushke on my channel. The third book that I went on in November for was Breach of Peace by Daniel Green. So Daniel Green is one of my favorite booktuber. He is perhaps the booktuber that I have been following for the longest period of time on the YouTube, and I love his channel, his videos. I watch almost every one of his videos. Amazing person, and I loved this book. The first book was amazing. It was about a fantasy setting in which sort of a steampunk kind of fantasy setting in which the whole country or whole this side of the world is ruled by a mythical god, and there is police who are all powerful, and they try to solve this murder mystery of a certain nobleman, a royal family, and they are brutally murdered. And the story moves on from there, that why they were murdered, who murdered them, and then the plot gets bigger and more interesting. That's all I'm going to say. You can find the review for this book on my channel as well. Then the fourth book was Something from the Night Side by Simon R. Green. So this was also recommended to me by Brian Lee Durfee. Actually, he put forward a review on his YouTube channel. Amazing channel. I almost watch each and every one of his videos. He reads a lot. His reading speed is so fast that I can't even imagine how he reads about 100 pages per hour, and that is insane. It means that he can complete like 500 to 700 or 800 pages book in 1 to 2 days, and that is literally insane. So this book, Something from the Night Side, is also a detective mystery in a fantasy setting. Our main character is a detective, John Taylor, and he is given a case to find the daughter of a very rich woman, and he has to go to this dark side of the London called the Night Side, and has to retrieve the girl, and the mystery goes on from there. Very good short read, and you can easily get into it within 1 to 2 days or maximum 3 days. Then the fifth book was a little bit a big book, about I guess 700 pages or so. I don't remember exactly. It was Empire of the Mughals, first book, Raiders from the North, by Alex Rutherford. So again, this is a historical fiction account by Alex Rutherford. These are, I think it's a pen name for two people, husband and wife. And this story revolves around the life of Babur Mirza, or Zahiruddin Muhammad Babur, the first Mughal emperor that entered into subcontinent and became the first first Mughal emperor of Hindustan. So very interesting. I'm definitely going to check out the book number 2 in January or February 2023. You can check out the review for this book on my channel as well. Then the sixth book was another non-fiction, Pakistan, a very short introduction by Pipa Vardi. This was a very good book. You can check out the review on my book or on my channel. And this was a short book, but it was packed with facts and figures and information about everything. Almost it touched almost everything related to Pakistan, the geographical history to the formation of Pakistan, to the all the circumstances that led Pakistan to the situation that it is right now facing. And it was a great introduction. If you want to learn about Pakistan, you can read this book. Amazing book. Then the seventh book was Rebel's Creed by Daniel R. Green. This is the sequel to The Breach of Peace, and you can check out the review. I put a single review for both of the books of the Daniel Green, and I didn't like this book very much, but overall it was good. It's a sequel to the first book, and I don't want to spoil it much. You can check out my review. It's non-spoiler as well as spoiler review. And it moves on from that murder mystery to unravel the truth about the kingdom, or the city they live in, and it goes on from there. Overall the story is good, but execution was not that great. You have to check it out yourself. Then eighth book was the book I started. It was the 13th Hour, Cruel Gods, book number 1, and I haven't put a review for that. It will come. I will upload the review for this book within this week. I hope so. I have a lot of thoughts about this book. It was overall a very good book. There were some problems, and the world building is so good that you will love it. It's a steampunk fantasy, epic fantasy, sci-fi, sort of a sci-fi kind of novel. And wait for my review. I will review this book in detail. So let's move on. The next book, I think it was ninth book, The Last Train from Perdition by Robert McCammon. This is the sequel to the I Travel by Night, and we follow the same detective vampire and his newly acquired assistant, and they go on another journey, you can say they have to retrieve a certain someone again, and the book follows almost on the same plot points, but a new case, and it's a very short read. Amazing, loved it. You should definitely check it out. And then the I think 10th book was The Road by Cormac McCarthy. Oh my god, this is also a short novella, not a very big book, and I just loved it. This was the first book by Cormac McCarthy that I checked out. It's a very bleak, dystopian kind of setting, and it's about a father and son and their survival journey. I have also put a review for this book on my channel. You can check it out. And this is amazing, but not for everyone. It's a very dark, grimdark, dystopian kind of setting, and you need a very strong stomach to digest the kind of ideas and kind of stories that are presented in this book. Although it's a very slow burn, it's about relationship between father and son, and their relationship with the nature, and how we do not appreciate the small blessings in our life. We should, trust me, we should. Let's move on. The 11th book, I guess, was The Ghost of Tomorrow by Michael R. Fletcher. I loved this book. And this is a sci-fi in which there are androids. It takes place in 2046, I guess, and they are fighting combat androids called as chassis. They scan the brains of people, particularly children of like 6, 7 years, 10 years or 14 years, and they put them into these androids, and they use them as slaves to carry out their missions. It's so good, so interesting. I have put a review for this book. Amazing sci-fi book that I have read in last 5 to 8 years, I guess. So you should check it out. Amazing book. But first of all, check out my review. Then the last book that I read, I guess I read it. Yeah, I read it yesterday. That was The Builders by Daniel Polensky. I watched the review for this book by Slowly Read. I will give the link in the description. And he was praising this book very much. It's a short book, standalone, and it's about these anthropomorphic characters who are it's a gang, and they want revenge. They want revenge from a certain someone, and the book revolves around their gathering and planning, and then taking their revenge. It's full of action, and just love it. Wait for my review. I will put a review for this on my channel within 3 to 4 days. Amazing book. And because of this reason, because of this book and the strong characters Daniel Polensky created in this book, I am definitely going to check out at least one book by Daniel Polensky in December. So one novel is going on in the TBR list for by Daniel Polensky in December reads. So that's it. These are the 12 books that I read in November, and that's it. Have you read any of these books? If you haven't, it's okay. If you have, let me know what you thought about them. Did you like them or not? I almost liked all of these books except for 1 or 2, and I uploaded the reviews for most of these on my channel. You can check them out, and that's it. See you next time.